This week on Wide Open Throttle, we're talking trucks with Mr. Ford Truck, Doug Scott, who's brought along this Atlas concept. We also have special guest, Allyson Harwood of Truck Trend, four-wheelers John Cappa, and you all know Jonny Lieberman. Let me set the stage here for those people out there who don't know who you are. They really should. You are head of Ford Truck Marketing Program. You've been with the company, I think, what,
35 years.
35 years. Mm-hmm. And you're in charge of the best-selling vehicle in the United States of America, the Ford F-150, which has been the sales leader for 36 years.
Correct.
So that's basically all you. And we're very glad that you're here and that you've also brought the Atlas concept with you. You know, it debuted at the Detroit Auto Show this past year. And really, I wrote about it that it stole the show. Mm-hmm. Was that the plan all along?
Well, the plan all along, Ed, was really to bring a concept vehicle to market, to get truck customers to react to provide some feedback to us on what could be the future of pickup trucks. And with a concept vehicle, that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to get people to react to something that's an exaggeration, we're stretching the envelope both in terms of the design itself as well as the feature content, and we'd like to get people to react to that, see what they like and what they don't like, and then use that to inform our development efforts for the next gen F-150 and Super Duty.
You know, when historians look back on the 2013 Detroit show, it's going to be the Stingray, the seventh generation Corvette. However, there was one vehicle that stole a little bit of its thunder and completely stole the thunder from the new GM pickups, and that was the Atlas. So can you just kind of talk, like, was that a strategy or a happy coincidence? Or?
Well, I'd like to say that we were so good as to have planned that out, Johnny, and to be all about upstaging one of our main competitors, but really that wasn't the case. We had long planned to have the Atlas reveal at the Detroit show. Just so happened that GM had some delays in the introduction of the 2014 Silverado and Sierra, and that sort of backed right up into this year's North American International Auto Show. So we were the beneficiaries of some extra attention. Now, once that became evident that that was what was going to happen, we did embellish or exaggerate a little bit.
The thing down
yeah,
from the
right,
ceiling.
right.
Yeah.
The reveal from and all the dramatic piece of it. Sure. So to really make a big impression, and that certainly worked.
Essentially, the rumor was that Ford had showed up with this vehicle a little earlier than they had actually planned, or than you guys had planned, because other companies, you know, were coming out with brand new vehicles. We had the, you know, the tow capacity of the Ram, the 30,000 pounds, the new 3 different drivetrains in the GM trucks, and you know, you guys couldn't show up with a pickup truck product or without a pickup truck product at the show. Was any of that founded, or? Well,
you know, John, we weren't really self-conscious about it because our mentality and what we'd been saying leading up to the Detroit show was that the other 2 main competitors were playing a lot of catch-up. You know, that when you looked at what we had done with F-150 as an example, you know, new in 09, new powertrains in 11, we had done a number of things in 13, new front ends, my Ford Touch, new limited model. We weren't really feeling self-conscious, like we didn't have a story or that we were going to people would think we were, you know, relaxing and not as serious and aggressive about trucks. And we had Transit and Transit Connect that were big reveals for us as well. So not really feeling self-conscious, and our plan was to unveil, you know, Atlas all along in Detroit in 2013, so that, again, we'd have enough time to get customer feedback and reaction to this really stretching the envelope in terms of truck designs.
We were poking around a little bit before we started, and I get grill shutters. Those absolutely have to be on the next, you know, F-150, and you know, the foldable side steps, that kind of stuff. But you know, John, you were poking at these
the wheel shutters.
Wheel shutters.
The wheel
Is
shutters.
that really something that is practical? I mean, you take that thing off road and get some gunk in there and some dirt. Is that something you think?
Well, as I said, there's different range here of technology, and I would certainly say that's more of a stretch. A lot more work to be done on wheel shutters, and will they work in all kinds of conditions? Again, you guys know how much durability testing and how all environments, our trucks get used in all sorts of weather conditions and environments, on-road, off-road. So more work to be done on that front. We know ongoing that fuel economy is the #1 unmet need, no matter how much better we make the fuel economy, and we've made it quite a bit better over the last number of years. there's this insatiable demand for even more fuel economy. So, you know, my gosh, you know, wasn't that long ago if you talked about trucks getting, you know, in the mid-20s sort of fuel economy, or even low 20s, that was a significant improvement over what people were accustomed to. And now, when you talk to truck customers, their definition of really good fuel economy is something that starts with a 3, even for a full-size pickup. And we all know what that's a big stretch and a lot of work to be done to get to that level.
So drive through anything but save the planet while you're doing it.
Yeah, there you go, there you go.
But can we talk about the elephant in the room? And the rumor before it was unveiled was that it might be made of aluminum, but it's not aluminum, correct?
That's correct. No, we talked very specifically that this had an aluminum hood, has aluminum suspension control arms, which again is similar to today's F-150. You know, Ed, on the subject of lightweighting, we've been very clear. We have a blueprint for sustainability. We've set across the Ford lineup. We're sort of in the midterm phase of that we're going to be taking 250 to 750 pounds of weight out of our vehicles as we go along, and F-150 is part of that portfolio, and we have the same, you know, plan in place there, that we're going to lightweight over time as a means of improving performance and fuel economy, and in the case of trucks, capability. You know, that's if you can take weight out, that weight immediately goes into more payload, and so that's an added benefit of a lightweighting initiative.
So you're saying LA show, we'll see it.
Well, just stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Well, let's change gears here a little bit and talk about, you know, we've been dancing around a little bit. Your main competition, who I will let you identify, but one of them is one of them has just come out with saying that they have a better fuel economy than EcoBoost.
Sure.
They're doing with a V8.
Yeah.
That's Silverado. What do you say?
Well, I think what we say, Ed, is that the 5.3 V8 for the Silverado is going to deliver 1 mile per gallon better fuel economy than the EcoBoost. But we're still going to say, we are saying and we'll still say, that EcoBoost delivers the best combination of torque, towing, and fuel economy. So whereas they're going to deliver 1 mile per gallon better on the fuel front, we are significantly higher torque. We're going to be 37 foot-pounds more torque, and more importantly, we're going to be delivering more low-end torque. You know, one of the beauties of EcoBoost and turbocharging is we deliver 90% of the max torque, which is 420 in our case, at 1,700 RPMs. The typical V8, you're up more around 4,000 RPMs to deliver that big torque. So we're going to deliver more low-end torque, and we're going to deliver still very good fuel economy at 22 miles per gallon and 11,300 pounds of towing. So that best combination is still going to be what we'll hang our hat on.
I think a big question for a lot of people is going to be, well, what's going to be your answer to the half-ton diesel market? That, you know, Ram's coming out with the half-ton diesel.
Right.
Is the EcoBoost still going to be the answer there, even though they're, you know, rumored to be reaching, you know, fuel economy numbers near 28 or maybe even 30?
Yeah, I think it is, John, and I'll tell you why. I think what's really changed in the market is the price of diesel fuel. So, you know, today nationally, it's about a 40-cent gallon premium for diesel fuel over gas. And by the time you take the higher acquisition price for diesel, like Ram's introducing, or I should say Chrysler's introducing that same diesel into the Grand Cherokee, and from what we understand, it's a $4,500 option. By the time you take a look at the price of the option and then what you have to pay in terms of premium for a gallon of fuel, then you got to drive that truck for a really long time to be able to make that pay. And today's customers doing the math. They're looking at, okay, how long do I have to drive this thing to make it pay? And we think EcoBoost is a much more affordable solution than diesel, and I think the customer's going to see that as a more viable option.
You're basically your counterpart there, Fred Diaz at Ram left, and he's now at Nissan. Any concerns what he's going to do with Titan? It's such an old sort of chassis. Can you offer them any advice on how to take market share?
Well, Ed, we never, you know, obviously we never take any competitor lightly. You know, it is mentioning to some of your team earlier today, I've never seen a more competitive full-size pickup market. Our competition is the best that they've ever been, no question about that. So not to take anybody lightly. I'm not sure with Titan, they've really not done a whole lot since they introduced the product in 2007. So I'm sure Fred he'll go over there and certainly has a lot of great experience, and I'm sure they'll be trying to leverage that and perhaps have a greater presence. In the case of Toyota, I was at the reveal in Chicago, and a couple of new high-end models and refresh on the exterior and certainly on the interior, but not really a lot of change in the functionals in terms of the powertrains or suspension or capability numbers and so forth. So, obviously it's an improvement. I don't know. Again, we'll let the market judge, how good that is. But
you're being incredibly kind. I mean, they with Platinum and 1792, right? They went right after your playbook with the premium. I mean, 1792 is a King Ranch knockoff. But how can you not? I mean, they're going right after you guys.
Obviously, it's flattering to see others follow. We think we got a pretty good foothold in that market, in the high series market, and that people expect more from us and in that direction.
All right, so we're not going to sit here and just slap you on the back for the sales leadership in the full-size market.
Oh, darn.
I grew up, one of my first cars was a small pickup truck from Toyota, and they are globally the leader in that space. We have none in this country except from Toyota and Nissan. And Ford is basically seated, Ranger's gone. Why? Why is that? How come we can't have a small pickup truck in this country from you guys?
Well, I think what's happened in the market, Ed, if you go back to 2000, as recent ago as 2000, over 1 million compact pickups were sold here in the U.S. And you contrast that with last year, it was about 260,000. The segment really has fallen off because, quite frankly, the formula, most of the trucks that are remaining that you talked about, the Tacoma and Frontier and so forth, especially Tacoma is more of a mid-size truck. And really what's happened is this overlap with the segment in full-size pickup in terms of size, price, and fuel economy, and especially price, has really been the most damaging blow to compact pickups. And you might be interested to know that over the last year, as people have disposed, not only Rangers, but any kind of compact pickup, more of them have been going into full-size pickup than into another compact. So this applies even to the Toyota and the Frontier and the Nissan Frontier and the Chevy Colorado and all those disposers as well. More of them are disposing their compact and going into a full-size truck than are going back into the compact segment, which again, I think says something even for those that still play in both places. In the heyday, that segment got so big because if you remember, there weren't as many other B and C choices in the market.
Right.
They were very affordable. That's true. And they were very fuel efficient, relatively speaking, so you had a lot of younger people in that market, and those are the people that decided, well, and really the utility of a pickup was sort of the third most important feature. Well, those people found other choices in terms of affordability and fuel economy, so they went there, and that's been the market that we've lost. So because of those other alternatives.
Let's keep you going here, keep you on your toes. These guys wanted to talk towing, and I understand there's been some towing controversy. I mean, we saw in our neighborhood, Toyota towed a space shuttle just right by our offices. But I understand there's a bit of controversy out there.
The proposal is the J2807 SAE standard. I know a lot of nomenclature on that, but the idea is that there is a standardized testing, basically third party, if I understand correctly, that all of the manufacturers would adhere to. Basically what this means is that if a manufacturer comes up with an outlandish, not Ford of course, but a manufacturer comes out with an outlandish towing number, and that's not something that is realistic for a consumer who buys a truck and wants to tow that much, and they just can't. So this would standardize that. What is your opinion on J2807 and what's the latest with it?
And probably more importantly is if Ford is the #1 selling truck, why hasn't Ford adopted that? Why aren't they the first ones to adopt the SAE rating?
Yeah, fair enough. No, we're definitely supportive. We're part of the the 2807 standard was created by representatives from all of the players in this full-size pickup arena, agreeing on a unified testing standard, and so we're definitely supporters. What we have said is it makes the most sense for us to incorporate it as we make major model changes. When you're making that shift in a new model where it changes significantly in its appearance and the other specifications, then it's more easily to explain to a customer that this truck has a different tow capacity than this other truck. If you do it in between 2 model years where you're not making much change in the product, kind of hard to explain that this product that looks exactly the same as this one over here can tow X amount more or less. We've always been the leader with respect to towing, like a lot of other dimensions in this market, and we're really committed to towing safely, and the specifications that we put out there and the capacities, the tow capacities, have been, you know, done with the eye toward confidence and safety for our customers. So no change in that, and we're going to do it in the way that makes the most sense, both for the consumer and for us as far as incorporating it into the product.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah,
we really
thanks.
appreciate it. This is some serious truck knowledge you've dropped on us. And thank you for watching. See you guys next week. Sound good?
Johnny, can you slouch more? I don't think you're gonna have to like really, really slouch.
What if I like did this?
That's creepy.
This?
That's better. Just put your arms down if you can.
This is about the max.
Can you put your arms down? That'll work.
All right, ready?